Microsoft Azure recently announced that you can do static website hosting within an Azure Storage account. Now, AWS has had this feature for a while, but it's nice to see Microsoft adding the feature. Let me show you how absolutely easy this is to set up. If we go back to the portal, and I'm going to go full screen on this, go into the new resources and storage section, create a storage account. Now, Microsoft has said that only Storage v2 is supported, so you actually have to change the account type. I'm going to call it AZSJD test as the storage account name. I don't need it to be globally redundant. I'm only going to make it locally redundant. You can choose however you wish. And I'm going to put this in a brand new group. I'm going to leave everything else by default. So I'm just creating a brand new storage account for this and a new resource group. It'll take a second for this to create. All right, say go to resource. And there's two things that are required for this. One is if we go down to the static website, a new menu item, so static website preview, we want to enable this. Now we do have the option of giving the index file a name. I'm actually, even though it's the default, I'm going to call it index.html. And we also have a 404 error page. I'm going to leave that blank. Click Save. Now that this storage account is enabled for static files website hosting, I'm going to copy the endpoint here for later use. Now we do need to go up to Storage Explorer, which will allow us to see into the storage account from within the portal. And Microsoft has created this $web container for our public static website. Now I do need to upload index.html file into this. Fortunately, I have one created. Index.html, upload. And so it's uploaded a very small file. My index.html is just 5 lines of code here. Going to close that. So we've created the static website and we've uploaded a static file here. I'm going to go back to the tabs here. I'm going to open a new tab and I'm going to paste the URL that Microsoft gave us when we created the static website. And there we go. Hey, this is a website. This is the HTML that I created. So we can see that we do not need an Azure web app. We do not need a virtual machine. As long as we don't have any dynamic components and it's HTML and it's CSS and JavaScript and image files, this can be hosted in a storage account. Again, AWS has had this for a little while, but we're happy to see Microsoft add it. So now available in your Azure account in public preview is hosting static files such as a website into a storage account and no need to create applications. You are charged for the megabytes being used, but this is again pennies per month, right? So very good option if that's what you want to be hosting.